viewers and listeners, to the Health Revolution, the program that shows you how to have a life of vibrant well-being. In a world full of noisy health trends, we bring you clarity. In a sea of fads, we reveal the science-backed strategies that truly work. We explore physical strength, emotional resilience, and mental mastery. These are the keys to an enriched life. Join us for inspiring interviews with champions who conquered life's health challenges, fueling your journey. Are you ready to unlock your potential? To live with vitality and purpose? Then join the Health Revolution. I'm your host, Adriana Morrison, health and fitness expert, speaker, and a mom who understands. Let's embark on this transformative quest. Together, we're about to change the game, starting now. The information provided in this show is intended for educational and entertainment purposes only. Viewers should use their own discretion and consult with a healthcare professional for personalized guidance and recommendations. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Health Revolution. We are excited that you are joining us today. I'm your host, Adriana Morrison, and no matter which way you are tuning into us, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. We want to stay connected to you. We are all things when it comes to health and wellness, the physical strength, the emotional resilience, and the mental mastery. And it's all that implies underneath that umbrella. And today, I'm excited about today's episode because it really highlights how to create that particular comeback story. How are you able to redefine your life and utilize the right tools to harness what really speaks to your soul? And how do you tap into those talents to really take it to the next level? And my guest today is a woman who epitomizes utilizing those tools and resources. And so as we introduce her to you, please take a look at this. Meet Elizabeth Jane, an Australian author, artist, and public speaker who transformed her challenging divorce into an empowering journey of self-discovery. With a focus on helping others navigate life's hurdles, Elizabeth uses her artistic talents and experiences to inspire recovery from health, financial, and relationship issues. Her debut book, Free and First: Unlocking Your Ultimate Life, is not only an Amazon bestseller, but also a heartfelt exploration of her personal journey. It features her stunning collection of art and poetry, each piece meticulously crafted to bring her story to life and offer solace to others facing similar challenges. Elizabeth's artwork is a celebration of resilience and beauty. Her signature style, characterized by pastels and acrylic oil and watercolors, showcases serene landscapes, lotus flowers, and butterflies, evoking emotion and a sense of tranquility. The first 13 paintings featured in her book invite readers into her world of color, light, and texture. Through her work, Elizabeth aims to inspire others to heal, grow, and rediscover the wonder of life. Her journey from a wife and mother to an independent woman with a renewed sense of purpose resonates with many. Her art and writing serve as a testament to the power of self-expression and the possibility of a life filled with passion and purpose. Elizabeth Jane, welcome to the Health Revolution. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Adriana. Thank you for having me today.
I'm excited to talk to you about this because it resonates how to really turn things around from a period of time when, say, the struggle and strife is ever apparent. Talk to us about where you knew that things needed to change in your life and the trajectory needed to be made so that you could be on the path that you're on today.
Well, I really didn't have a choice in my change of journeys, let's say, because it was 2017 and an unexpected divorce happened, and I went into total denial first, and it was very traumatic. It was unexpected, and my twins were doing their Year 12 year, and I just went into a spiral of grief and all the emotions, anger, denial, grief, victim mentality, thinking, why me? How could this happen? And I realized that I had to find tools to climb out of where I was at, because it wasn't a very nice place, let's say.
Did you find that you needed to utilize new tools, or were there resources around you that you felt that you were able to tap into, or was this level of curiosity of, I've got to find out what can help me move on and get to a better chapter?
Well, I think I was always I was always into health and fitness, and I wanted to do it myself. But so I spent a lot of time traveling alone. I thought I needed to take myself out of the environment that I was in, because it was just not helping me. And then I started to journal and to paint, and that really assisted me to what was working for me and what was not working, and what was helping me and what was not helping me. And baby steps, I started to sort of climb out of, well, the messy situation I was in, the traumatic depths of despair that I was in. But it took a lot of determination, and it took a lot of vulnerability. Sometimes I would be going back 3 steps and forward 1. But the writing really helped me, and the artwork really helped me to work out what mattered to me.
Have you always known how impactful art it has been in your life, or the arts, or was it a discovery that you made along the way?
Well, it was actually so interesting, Adriana, because I was at school, I was really just into, the maths and the science and the Japanese, the languages, because my parents sort of encouraged me to go that way. And art and drama were seen as soft subjects if you couldn't spell, or you couldn't do your maths. So I was very blessed, because it was actually my children that got me into painting, because they bought me a cork and canvas voucher, which is like you go along to a night and you have a bit of fun with your girlfriends and have a glass of wine and paint a palm tree. And after that, I surprised myself, because I was going to draw a smiley face on my canvas, because I thought, well, I don't know how to paint. I don't know how to draw. And so from there on, I enrolled in classes, and what for me, painting and the writing is therapeutic, in that it keeps you in the present. I think it not only helps work out what you like doing and what doesn't work for you, but more importantly, I think any creative activity that you can get yourself into that keeps you in the present is just so wonderful, because it keeps you out of your thoughts, which could be self-sabotaging what you're about, the power of you. And so if you're thinking too much, you're either thinking, catastrophizing into the future, you can concoct lots of different things, or you can be in the past, where you're shaming and blaming and regretting what's happened in the past, blaming everyone for your situation, your victim mentality, which just plunged me further down into despair. So I sort of thought, no, that's not on the what's working list. And so I would tend to fall into what brought me joy as much as I could in how, feasibly with the kids and with work and with everything. As much as I could, I would find myself journaling or painting.
You know, one thing I do love about your story is that the level of resilience that you demonstrate. And I certainly can relate going through a painful divorce myself. My ex-husband's the father of my 4 kids. So there was a time that I was a single mom, and what helped me go through was making sure I did not lose me in the process of transition. And are there certain elements that really stuck with you that created that foundation for you to lean on and build upon your new chapter?
Yes, well, I had definitely lost me. And so I really, I had lost me. I'd lost me in the roles of being a mother of 4 children and being a wife. And that's why it was so traumatic, because when I looked around, I thought, well, what happens now? What happens now? I've lost my reason for being. I sort of looked over my shoulder, and my children, well, for me, they're in their 20s. And then, the husband's walked out the door, and okay, right. So in regards to what were you saying, sorry, Adriana, in terms of
What helped you stay the focus? What helped you stay in line to trust the process that was going to lead you to a new chapter?
well, I think the thing that kept me on the yellow brick road, as I put it sometimes, was actually ironically the children, because I realized, well, I felt that if I went down into a heap, no use to anyone, well, then I couldn't be any use to anyone. We're all sort of connected. We're connected to our children. We're connected to our families. We're connected to our friends. So I realized that if I was down, then when I was thinking of my children, they were going to be on the sinking boat as well. And so that was what was my driver, because my children mattered to me. As much as I was working out what mattered to me, I knew my children mattered to me. And I realized the best that I could do for them was to lift me up so as they could benefit, and so my friends could benefit. And then it just kept growing from there. And that's what brings me the biggest joy, is that the higher I go, the more joy that I can feel in my life, the better I can feel, well, then the better the children can feel, and they can, what I sometimes say, surf the wave, surf the wave. Your friends can surf the wave, and that's really cool.
I'm sure that I've not heard that one before, but I can definitely imagine. Of course, in Australia, you have moments in where that does in fact happen, realistically speaking, metaphorically speaking. How did you frame the conversation that you chose to have with your kids when you needed to tell them or share with them your intentions of your journey? In other words, what helped you have the right conversations with them so that they're able to see you as the mother who is doing everything for them for her life?
I think I didn't actually have one particular conversation and said, this is what I'm going to do. It just organically grew, like just baby steps. I started writing, started painting, and so the children just came along with the ride, so to speak, as well. And it's still organically growing. It's relatively new. I only launched my book last October. So, and children's books are on the way. So, keeping myself very busy, because I thought it would be nice to have a children's book to encapsulate the same ideas, but for the youngsters, given my primary school teaching. And yeah.
One of the things that I felt like I needed to do was see, when I was a single mom, I remember choosing to be transparent in how I moved and navigated the steps that I took. The one thing that I felt was extremely important to me was that, or for my kids, was that if they saw me misstep, that they could see how I was addressing it so that they would learn from me and utilize my lessons by observing so they can implement it in life versus society teaching them, but that they're learning from me. Did you find that you were in that position that you wanted them to just see how you were going? Did you find that you had a level of transparency with them? Did you ever struggle with protecting them? How did you navigate that process?
Well, actually, that's a very good question, Adriana. I believe that because the important part of my book, the crux of my books, is that we need to be authentic with ourselves. That's our power, is when we're authentic and when we can show our true feelings. And so our children can see us showing our true feelings, because we're role modeling for our children. And so if we're not showing our true feelings and working out what we need, well, then we can't really expect our children to follow suit. So when we're expressing our true feelings, we can work out what we need and set boundaries to follow through and meet our needs ourselves rather than relying on others. So I think it's just so important to be able to do that.
What type of verbiage did you use to edify your inner self? What are some things that how you took care of you? I know the artworks and the inner author in you was something that was flourishing. What were some of the things that you told yourself along the way that helped you build the confidence and the courage to take the steps you had not taken before in this new chapter?
So when I was feeling really quite down in the early days, it was more survival tips that I would follow, not the ones to get me just out of where I was feeling quickly. So it would be sometimes it would be even distraction. So if I was feeling really down, I'd just turn on the radio. If I was in the car, I would just turn on the radio and just distract myself, or have a shower and sing under the shower, or ring a friend, or anything to uplift me. Go and pick flowers in the neighbour's garden. Anything to be a child again. Not look something that's just silly. I think that sometimes we get too serious with ourselves, and we being the eldest child. I don't know, Adriana, are you the eldest child in the family?
I am. That's another thing we have in common.
I felt it. I felt that. I think we eldest children can tend to take on a lot of responsibility. And so just to sort of take a step back and laugh, and stop. I think that stopping and grounding myself would really be a really big give me a helping hand, just sort of stopping from whatever I was doing or thinking, more importantly, and just sort of questioning those thoughts, because are they really real, or are they my concoction am I catastrophizing about some future that may or may not happen, or am I in the drama? Am I in the drama of the past? And just kept bringing myself back into the now.
Wow. And we're going to definitely dive into your book. I can't wait for us to do so. First, we're going to take a commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this.
Hello, fitness enthusiasts. Welcome back to Fit Bites with Adrienne. Today, let's stretch our minds and bodies as we delve into the world of flexibility. Now, why is flexibility so important? Well, it's not just about touching your toes or doing a perfect split. Flexibility is crucial for maintaining a healthy, functional body. It improves our range of motion, reduces the risk of injuries, and makes everyday activities easier and more comfortable. So, how can we become more flexible? Well, first, incorporate stretching into your daily routine. Now, whether it's a quick stretch in the morning or yoga session in the evening, make it a habit. Now, don't forget about dynamic stretches before your workouts to prepare your muscles and static stretches afterward to cool down and increase flexibility. And remember, consistency is key. Flexibility takes time to develop, so be patient and keep at it. Now, lastly, listen to your body. Never push into pain and always respect your limits. So let's embrace flexibility, not just in our bodies, but in our approach to fitness and in life. Now stay tuned for more Fit Bites, and here's to more flexible you.
Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Welcome back to the Health Revolution. Welcome back, everybody. My guest today, Elizabeth Jane, author, artist, and public speaker, and we are talking about really creating that ultimate life, especially navigating through more challenging chapters in your life. And Elizabeth, I'm curious to ask you, as we start talking about your book, and I want to definitely dive into it, what gave you the courage to transition from personal journaling to writing a book for a wider audience?
Well, I've sort of never really planned to write a book, and it was just my journaling. I was journaling, every day, and the journals were my girlfriends started asking me for handy hints on the issues that they were going through, whether so I kept texting them, and then it was actually my girlfriends who said, you really need to get all these handy tips and tools together and put them out for others. And I've always loved uplifting people, so I really thought to myself, well, I really should. I wanted to write a book that wasn't profuse, that could just be a toolkit to help people through challenges, whether they're financial or relationship based or health based. And because I'd been handed a book on boundaries, and when the breakup happened, and I looked at the book and I thought, this is just too profuse. I'm not going to read this big book on boundaries. It's just like, it's too much for me right now. And I thought, what do people really need when they're going through a traumatic time? What do they really, really need to feel good? And that was the basis of my book, because I just really wanted it to reach people, whether they're 20, 14, 12-year-olds or 80-year-olds. to help them, uplift them, and help them sort of step through their challenges.
Let's go ahead. We're going to bring up your book right now. Your book is called Free and First. And talk to us a little bit about just the behind the scenes. How did you come up with the title first, or the premise was really expanding on your writings? What were those beginning steps? What did they look like for you?
Well, I think I wanted everyone to be free. I wanted to be free. I wanted to be free of my negative thinking and my self-sabotaging thoughts. And then I realized that everyone has these negative thoughts, self-sabotaging thoughts at some stage. And so I wanted to be free of those. And then I realized that over time that I could really only free myself of my thoughts if I could uplift me by putting myself first, because we're so programmed, we're so conditioned, I think, a lot of women around the world, that it's selfish to put yourself first. You know, you've got 4 children, you've got, working hard, you've got your work, you've got everything, that we're sort of last on the list. But then I realized that if we were putting ourselves first and uplifting ourselves into our full potential or full power, well, then others would benefit as well. So that really, so the title I knew had to be first in the title and free in the title. And then I started working out the ABC of me, which is a tool that is sort of quite prominent in the book. It was all about allowing us to feel our feelings and then to be able to put boundaries in place. But of course, we can't put boundaries in place if we don't think we're worthy of these boundaries. Mm-hmm. And so it was really important to be able to say, we need to nurture us. We need to be kind to ourselves. That's the first thing. We have to be kind to ourselves so that we can stand up for what matters to us, so we can work out our needs, and so we can put ourselves first. So that became the essence of my book, in terms of the ABC of me, allowing people to actually feel their feelings, stop, because you need to stop. We're busy working hard, we're busy with children, we're busy bees. And when we are human beings, we're not human doings. And when we step into our human being time, when we have that 10 minutes, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, to feel how we are, and to start meeting our own needs.
And I like how you said that, because it prevents us from getting 100% lost in the sauce. It's a phrase that I've been gravitating towards apparently these days, but I do feel like it makes the point of not forgetting about you, but honoring what really speaks to you, and honoring, I love how you put the free and first, in that obviously the free I'm getting from this is symbolizing you just having the space to really be you. And then the first being that you are first, that the self-care falls under all of this umbrella, and that this allows you, that attention allows you the opportunity and the space to grow.
I just said it better myself, Adriana. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, because the free part is when we can actually be free and to be ourselves, free to be me. I mean, I've just written a couple of poems on free to be me, because that's the power. When we can step into our authentic selves, we are free, because we're saying what we don't and what we do like, and we're gearing our life that way to walk a easier path by saying no to things that we don't want to do.
As you were writing this book and it was coming to fruition, would you say that it was a challenge to really put the free and first bit? Would you say that to make sure that one honors thyself and to be free, even though we have the roles that we have as adults with all the responsibilities that we have. Do you find that many people struggle with that, being free, but then being committed to the roles that we play?
Mm. Yeah, it's sometimes a tightrope walk, like it is very tricky, and a mother only knows her children best. So it's setting, boundaries with your children. How I like to look at it is letting out the umbilical cord as they grow, and as you know that they can, letting out that cord allows them to develop resilience. They may fall down, but they learn from the experience, so it is tricky. But I think the reason I had 4 children was, Adriana, if I'd had one, I would have just tiger mummed it, I just would have, the poor child would not have had a chance to actually experience life for themselves, in their own little world. So I think every time that I spend me time, I'm role modeling for the children to have their time as well. So I think that, I believe children should see their parents having time for them. So as when they are parents, then they can justify having time for them, because that's the power. It's actually the power of actually keeping track of you, not sidelining your needs for others.
How has writing the book changed you as a mom?
Well, I get to experiment with the grandchildren, I suppose. It's changed me in that I allow the kids to do a lot more. I hold back a lot more. Than even I allow them to fall down a lot more, Adriana. Because I know that the experiences in life, the challenges that we have, are sort of opportunities, real opportunities to grow. I know it's an overused sort of thing to think of, but obstacles are opportunities. They're opportunities, and if you're constantly, I think I've referred to the terms of helicopter parent or a lawnmower parent, where you're running along in front of your children and you're mowing over every obstacle so it's all smooth for them, well, then the children don't get to develop what they like and what they don't like, and to stand up for things that matter to them and to work out what matters to them. So that's become very much, since writing the book, I've become very aware of that. And even though I was aware of it by having 4 children, not to model coddle the child, I'm just much more aware of it now too.
Do you have a favorite chapter that, when it was crafted and completed, looking back, that there was a lot of joy or maybe a lot of growth that came from, say, a chapter? Do you have any chapter in particular of your book that really resonates with you and really evokes that type of, just such a strong feeling?
Well, it's interesting. I think the theme that really resonated with me is throughout the book, and it's about always looking for the love and approval of my parents, then my teachers, and then my peers, and then ultimately my husband. Half a century, Adriana, looking for the love and approval outside of myself, rather than self-watering the love of self from within. And it took me half a century, I was always looking to my parents and then school teachers, etc. So, and so when I wrote the chapter on my teenage me, where looking back and reflecting on that time, I would have powered up a lot more, I think, in my teenage years. if I had just looked to what I needed. I didn't even know what music I liked playing, just whatever pop music you like, I like. I can remember not having really a favorite band. It was just like who I was out with, which peer group I was in, and I'd just go along with what music they liked. And what my parents, what made my parents happy. It was a very big theme in my younger years, and I think it's a theme. I don't know if it's just oldest children. I think maybe the youngest sort of goes the opposite way, but sometimes. But for me, that brought me a lot of joy. But I realised that it wasn't self-sustaining. It wasn't something self-sustaining for me.
I can relate because I remember growing up going through my teenage years and then ultimately through college. I just did whatever everyone else thought. I went along with the flow. I wanted to be 100% agreeable. I didn't want to cause any strife. I didn't want to rock the boat or buck the system. I didn't want to be the situation. And I think I put too much value on what other people thought. And it took a lot of work to turn things around. And so from all that I'm hearing, it sounds like the writing the book really was yet another turning point of growth for you, would you say?
Yes. Well, I think just on what you've said, Adriana, I think it always comes to me that I've moved from a peacekeeper to a peacemaker. In terms of a peacekeeper, just running with, being flexible with what everyone needs and just going with the flow and, nurturing everyone. Happy house is a happy home, all that sort of thing. Whereas peacemaker is actually being vulnerable and having the strength and the courage often to actually go, well, hang on, I don't really like that pop music, I like this music, or whatever the theme may be of the time, is actually standing up and recognizing your needs. I didn't even know what my needs were when I was in my marriage. I thought my needs were all met. I had 4 healthy children, a picket fence, and happy husband. But it was the needs of my children, ironically, and the needs of my husband, ironically, that I was meeting, and that's what uplifted me. But it wasn't really looking what I wanted from this life, what I needed, what mattered to me. So that's been the real journey, is unlocking what I really needed in this life, and then having a game plan, the signposts in my book, a signpost to actually working out what you need and following through to actually fulfilling what you need.
And that's very profound. We're going to continue this conversation. First, we're going to take a commercial break. Stay here. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this. Thank you so much for watching The Health Revolution. Our show is growing, and it's all thanks to viewers like you. No matter how you found us, please hit the subscribe button so we can stay connected and continue to deliver amazing content to you.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
Share this with your friends and family and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a chemo buddy for life.
We are a buddies network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are chemo buddies for life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, You belong with us at Chemo Buddies for life.
Healing through connections.
And now we want to give special thanks to Biomed Mobile IV for sponsoring the health revolution. Biomed Mobile IV is Colorado's top mobile IV therapy service, servicing throughout the state of Colorado. They offer an array of vitamins and above and beyond safety preparation. Biomed Mobile IV, your dedication to health and wellness is exactly what our show is all about. And we thank you for your support. Welcome back to the Health Revolution. Welcome back, everybody. My guest today, Elizabeth Jane. She is an author, an artist, and a public speaker coming all the way from Sydney, Australia. And before the break, we were talking about her book that she wrote, Free and First. And Elizabeth, I'm curious in terms of what kind of feedback have you gotten from your book? Obviously it was published last year. When exactly? And then what's been the word that you've been hearing?
Yes, well, it's an Amazon bestseller. So my friends and I've locally been stocking the book in bookshops around Australia, and I'm really hoping, Adriana, I'm holding the vision that my book will reach all countries of the world in different languages, because it's a universal. The challenges that we face are universal, and they're all ages and all countries, to reduce conflict, within ourselves and within the world, and just to have a happier, more joyful life. So yes, it's early stages yet, but I'm really holding that vision.
I'm excited for you. It was published in 2023. What season was it? Was it in the fall? Was it in the summer?
Sorry, October 7th.
Okay, so October 27th. Woo! And so, what's been the feedback? What kinds of feedback have you been hearing, either through reviews or from those you know about, those who you know, and then maybe those who are getting to know who you are? What are some things that you're hearing about how your book is impacting them?
Yes, well, I think my book is being currently read by a few people around me who are giving feedback to me, and they're saying that they're going through challenging times. One of my girlfriends got cancer, and I want to say this, that my heart goes out to those experiencing cancer. It's such a common occurrence, and I really think that the more joy and the more support that you can get in your life, the more joy, just to really try and fit something fun in your life, it can really help. And so my girlfriend with cancer's is very tearful about the book, because she's really following it to a T in terms of just making sure that she spends some time for herself, and puts herself first. And really has some fun,
Absolutely. Now, you did mention that there are other books in the works. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, well, I suppose I was thinking, with my book going global, and I was thinking it would be really nice to write a children's book about Australian animals, because I was actually up in Airlie Beach, which is in the Whitsundays near the Great Barrier Reef, and we get a lot of tourists that come into that area, and I was thinking, well, the children probably don't know what an echidna looks like, and that a baby echidna is, it's the spiky animal. It's very spiky, and the baby echidna is called a puggle. And so I was thinking I could write a story about the Australian animals, but also impart some of the wisdoms that, I feel are wisdoms in terms of like uplifting the kids as well and teaching kids to be able to express their feelings and to be able to. And so then the next one is the koala bear story. So I've got a koala bear story where a kookaburra sort of peeks in a window and tells them a few wisdoms about how the koalas should be living, not in more in the forest rather than in the hamster wheel, so to speak, of work.
Well, I know that you and I, before today, you and I had talked, and I had mentioned that as you brought up the idea of that there are more books on the horizon, and I was fascinated with and surprised at how little I knew in terms of Australian animals. And in conversation, of course, you'll remember, I think the only other animal I knew of, the koala bear and kangaroo, is the wombat. And so then that was it. And so as you were telling me all of the other animals that are out there, I'm thinking, wow, that would, for the rest of us who have yet to learn, I think that would put obviously a nice positive connection with some of the amazing animals that Australia has for the rest of us adults to learn from. So.
Yes, and the wombats, he's very shy because, everyone can connect with the different characters, because and the cassowary is such a big bird that can't fly. It's massive. It's like as big as I think you have ostriches. Do you have ostriches?
Yes. Well, we do here. There are many in zoos, but yes, we do have our share of ostriches. So you're absolutely correct on that. But I love the fact that you really are setting forth on this path to tap into your talents, both art and then writing as well. And circling back to your artwork, how have you utilized art to resonate and tap into different feelings? Is there a certain style that you're just naturally gravitating towards that resonates in your artworks?
Well, I think the lesson I learned was to actually just go with the flow of what you feel, because I would face a canvas and never know. I still don't know what I'm actually going to produce on the canvas. So unlike, some artists do follow a sort of a formula and they're always painting the same thing, whereas I didn't have a clue really what I was to be painting, and just went with what I felt. And so, I mean, if you had to say there was a theme, I suppose I do love nature. So there's a lot of sea and sky and the animals coming through. But with the koala bear story, I'm painting a lot of koala bears at the moment. Kookaburras.
Of course, they resonate. It's an automatic positive thoughts about the koala bear for sure. Real quickly, before we go to break, what are some things, what would you say to a woman who is really wanting to tap into her talents, but is not sure of what the first few steps is to take? What would you tell her?
Well, I would say to a woman, a man, or a child, don't worry about what people think. Send that to the back of the bus, so to speak, the bus of life. I have this sort of analogy of this bus of life. And if you get any of the thoughts coming into your head, I can't, I shouldn't, that's not possible, I'm going to look like the circus clown, just say back of the bus and just ignore those thoughts, because it's not the true you. It's trying to shine through. And give it a go. Play like a child, whether it's with a golf stick or whatever it is. It's diving into the ocean. Whatever takes your fancy, don't hold back. That's what I would say.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this.
Hi, this is Clara Capano, your host for Women Winning Their Way, where we talk about how you can create success all on your terms. Join us Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Limelight Network here on E360 TV.
Welcome back to the Health Revolution. Welcome back, everybody. My guest today, Elizabeth Jane, coming all the way from Australia. She is an author, an artist, and a public speaker. She wrote her book, Free and First, Unlocking the Ultimate Life. Elizabeth, where can viewers find you on social media, on the internet, all of that?
Yes. Well, the best place is just to go direct to the website, elizabethjane.com.au. AU Australia, I suppose. Yeah. So elizabethjane.com.au, and then you can just go straight through to my Facebook and my Instagram, and follow all the podcasts and interviews I've done around the world and around Australia, all different sort of themes. Are there for listening to if you get that opportunity to uplift and to step into your potential, your full potential. Yeah.
And let's see if we can go ahead and bring back your book, just so that our viewers can see Free and First, Unlocking Your Ultimate Life. And obviously that's the QR code that leads straight to your website. So that is a quick ability for viewers to get a snapshot of that, to get to your book and to order it if they obviously it speaks powerfully, and it's a book for all of us to get our hands on. Anything else that you've got coming up around the corner? I know that you've got anything regarding your artworks, or will they be on display? All of that. What does that look like?
Yes, my artworks, so my paintings are sort of some are up in Airlie Beach, and some are up in Queensland, and some are in Australia. So I am going to be exhibiting some of my paintings locally within Australia. But the paintings can all be purchased digitally, and on my website. And the ones that are part of my book, I can't really part with at the moment, because they're just they're too close to my heart at the moment. So the originals I'll be holding on to, but other artwork is available through my website for purchase.
That's fantastic. Well, I wish we could talk more, but we are out of time. Elizabeth Jane, thank you so much for your time, your energy, sharing your knowledge, and the fact that you are a shining example of overcoming a challenging chapter to really reach a new and ultimate chapter that is yet to unfold. So I thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you.
Yes, so thank you so much, Adriana, for having me here today. And yes, hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you come and visit me in Australia soon.
I intend, that's on the bucket list. Australia's on the bucket list. So you can count on that.
I hope so.
So for all our viewers, of course, our website, you can find us on thehealthrevolutiontv.com. You can subscribe to our newsletter. You can also share with us show ideas that you would love for us to cover, and we will absolutely deliver for you. Also, you can, as a quick reference, our QR code is on the upper corner of your screen. So that will allow you to go as the crow flies to our website. And then, as always, we are on E360 TV Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Health Revolution on E360. And that's all the time that we have. Until next time, definitely take care of you. We will see you soon. Take care.